Breaking news today: an Orthodox leader in Ukraine has been placed under house arrest by a court. After Ukraine's top security agency accused a prominent priest of criminally justifying Russian aggression, a Kyiv court ordered the priest to be placed under house arrest on Saturday. It was the most recent development in a long-running battle over control of a historic Orthodox church. Kyiv-Pechersk Lavra is the holiest Orthodox site in Ukraine, and Metropolitan Pavel serves as its abbot. He has denied the allegations and refused to leave the building despite an order from the authorities to do so. The Metropolitan testified earlier in the day that he had never been on the side of aggression, and that the SBU's claim that he approved of Russia's invasion was politically motivated. Despite his protests that he should not wear such a device because of his diabetes, the court ordered that he have a monitoring bracelet attached to his ankle. There would be a 2-month period of house arrest. Before the bracelet was placed on his wrist, he said, "I am accepting this. Why shouldn't I accept this? Christ died on the cross." Earlier in the week, he threatened the life of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky with a curse. There are accusations that Russia is behind the persecution of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, of which the monks in this monastery are a part. The property in question, the monastery of the Caves, has been at the center of a religious conflict that has developed in tandem with the war. Because of its long-standing ties to the Russian Orthodox Church, Patriarch Kirill of Moscow, who has publicly backed Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, the Ukrainian government has recently cracked down on the UOC. Since the Orthodox Church of Ukraine gained recognition from the Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople more than 4 years ago, many Ukrainian Orthodox communities have severed ties with the UOC. The UOC has repeatedly declared its allegiance to Ukraine and condemned the Russian invasion. However, Ukrainian security services claim that some members of the church have kept in touch with the Russian government. As evidence that some church officials have been loyal to Russia, the agencies have raided numerous holy sites of the church and posted photos of rubles, Russian passports, and leaflets with messages from the Moscow Patriarch. On March 29, the government enforced its order for the monks to vacate the compound. The lawsuit states that the tenants broke their lease by making changes to the historic building and by committing a few other minor infractions. The monks saw through the excuse and rejected the claim. On Saturday, dozens of UOC backers gathered in the rain outside the monastery to sing hymns. There was also a smaller group of protesters there. They claimed the other side was in league with Moscow. Software developer Ksenia Kravchuk, 38, of Kyiv, said, "They wash the brains of people with Russian support, and they are very dangerous for Ukraine. It's terrible that in the heart of Kyiv, people are singing songs in favor of Russia." David, a 21-year-old seminary student in his 3rd year, strongly disagreed. He was dressed as a priest and carried a Ukrainian flag around his shoulders as he swore that no one in the Lavra was pro-Russian. He claimed that without a court order, the state was attempting to forcibly remove hundreds of people from Lavra. David, who did not want to give his last name due to the sensitivity of the situation, said, "Look at me. I'm in priest's clothes, with a Ukrainian flag and a cross around my neck. Could you say that I'm pro-Russian? Can you believe it? The priests are singing a Ukrainian hymn right now, and people are calling them pro-Russian." On the same day, Zelensky criticized the United Nations. Russia's presidency of the UN Security Council has been criticized by the US. On a monthly basis, each of the 15 council members takes the helm as president. A 5-month-old boy was killed by Russian artillery on Friday, according to Zelensky, who also stated that the Russian Federation's current presidency of the Security Council proves the complete bankruptcy of such institutions. On Saturday, Ukrainian authorities reported that Russian shelling had killed 2 civilians in the Kherson and Kharkiv regions. Zelensky added that he discussed defense cooperation with French President Emmanuel Macron on Saturday. Russian forces have persisted in their effort to capture the city of Bakhmut, despite Ukrainian preparations for a counter-offensive later this spring. 8 months of fighting have dragged on in that stronghold in eastern Ukraine. During a Saturday visit to the military headquarters overseeing the action in Ukraine, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu announced that Russia's defense industries have increased production of ammunition by several times. On Saturday, the British Ministry of Defence released an assessment claiming that the Russian offensive directed by Russian Military Chief of Staff General Valery Gerasimov had failed. British government officials said on Twitter that Gerasimov's tenure has been characterized by an effort to launch a general winter offensive, with the goal of expanding Russian control over the entire Donbass region. After 80 days, it's clear that this project was doomed to fail. Russia is largely squandering its temporary advantage in personnel, from a partial mobilization of 300,000 reservists Putin ordered in the fall, according to the Russian Defense Ministry's assessment of the conflict in the Donbass. Research concluded,